Hello and welcome. It's time to do another market update for the Rosa Beach 30A area. Sabina Robertson, broker owner of Sea House Realty, and welcome to my channel. I hope you take a moment to subscribe and enjoy my market updates and videos about this beautiful area called 30A. Before I get started, it's getting a little cooler here in Rosa Beach. The weather requires you to wear a jacket, and you got to be careful because we're not used to some of the cooler weather, to make sure you winterize your home and make sure that your sprinkler systems are secured. So something you always want to do this time of the year. So let's look at some data. There's some big news going out lately around this. The interest rates keep dropping. Experts, including from NAR and also other big economists, predicting that by the end of next year, interest rates hopefully will be in the mid-5s again, which will definitely change and increase the buyer demand. It's all about supply and demand, my friend. So for those of you who are brand new and have never watched one of my market updates, I go into a little bit of data. So some of you that are data driven, this is probably a really a resourceful video. Those of you who don't like to look at data, it may be a little boring and you may want to skip towards the end where I kind of summarize everything. But basically what we are doing is we're comparing active, sold, and pendings on 30A, East and West, months to months to see if there's a change in pattern happening. And then we also take a look at absorption rate, list to sold ratio, and lastly, take a look at some of the surrounding areas like Fort Walton Beach and Niceville and Freeport and Destin to see how their average list price compares to 30A. You know, remember, real estate is local, and you need to dive into the data as a local specialist, because what applies here may not apply back in Washington, D.C. or in California or wherever you may live. So it's really important to stay local. So before further to do, let's go ahead and dive into some data. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some data. Before I get started, I just wanted to give you a quick overview that I am fine-tuning 30A. We divide 30A into the east and the west area because there is a difference in cost per square foot, and Grayton Beach is the dividing factor. So I always take a look at all the listings that are currently active, pending, and sold in the last 6 months on 30A combined area. So we get started today, December the 21st. We have 877 active listings. 2 months ago, October the 18th, we had 863 active listings. So the active listings went slightly up in November, but then they came back down to the same number in December. Pendings are down. 139 pending listings, which is surprising to me because I feel like the last couple weeks the market has been busier and picking up with some of the interest rates dropping, and even I have been busier with buyers. So that is surprising to me. And then lastly, let's take a look at the sold. I always go back 6 months. We sold 658 listings as of today, December the 21st. Back in October it was 698 and 668 in November. So we are a very, very even keel on number of listings sold. Currently there are 184 active listings right under 1 million on 30A. You heard me correct. About 2 years ago, you couldn't have found a listing under 1 million, maybe just a handful. The highest number of active listing currently is between 1 and 2 million on 30A, and there is 828 listings for you to choose from. If you are looking in the 2 million to 5 million range, there's a total of 284 listings. Between 5 and 10 million, you have 104 active listings to choose from. And million, there are 15 listings over 10 million. And most of them, of course, are on the Gulf. Just to give you a quick recap, 878 active, 139 pending, and 658 listings sold in the last 6 months. So if you're looking at the pendings versus the active, you can see the percentile here. And then if you scroll down quickly and look at your average list price on 30A, you're looking at $2,466,000, and the average sold price is $2,001,000. So what's interesting here is to take a look at the sold original list price ratio, which is 93.67%. And that means that there is some wiggle room for buyers negotiating off the list price. And the average day on the market on 30A is 106 days. Since I live on 30A West End, I always like to fine-tune now our data to 30A West End. And as you can see, your active listings from October to November have pretty much stayed very steadily. These graphs will only show you always the end of the month, so we will not be able to see the December data until January. And here you can see the new listing coming on the market from October to November. It's pretty much, it's staying very steady. Now let's take a look at the list prices over here. Here you can see that the median list and sold price starting September has gone down for November. So that is also showing you when we're looking at the sold to list ratio down here, you can see that the green line is going to be your list price, and then your blue line is going to be the sold price. And you can see, you know, we dipped as low as 90%. And now remember, when I looked at the data earlier, I was combining the entire 30A. This is just for the West End, but your sold to original list price ratio on 30A West End is 90%. That is why it is so important that you analyze data locally. So if you're purchasing a home in Destin, the list to sold ratio may be different than in Miramar Beach or in Freeport. So it's very crucial to analyze the data locally. And then lastly, let's take a quick look at our absorption rate, and that has not really changed. And what does that mean? What it means that if no new listings would come on the market right now, it would take 9 months in the current market to absorb all the listings that are currently on 30A West End. If you look and compare the data to last year, November in year 2022, our absorption rate was close to 4%. So we have more than doubled. But take a look at the average list price. It really has only gone down by 8%. And I think that is kind of what I was thinking. I thought, looking back, that we would see a 10% change in list prices from last year to this year. And it'd be interesting to see what the next couple of months bring, especially with the continuous decrease in mortgage rates. But we'll find out next month if there is any more changes. Last year, look over the year-over-year comparison report. So that will compare this year, January to 23rd, to December 21st, compared to last year. And I think this is really interesting if you look at it, because this is going to now analyze our data year to year. So look just alone on 30A West End, where last year we had a total number of 62 active listings on this day, and we have 73 now. Now look at the new listings. there's really not that much of a change. Where the change is in your sold volume and your average sales price. So that the sold volume is down by 23% and the average sales price is down by 9%. An average sales price for each area, you can see the difference, like I mentioned, from 38 East to West. So the East is $2.3 million and the West End is $1.4 million. Crestview is $317,000. Destin is $886,000. Fort Walton Beach looks close to $400,000, and Freeport is $442,000. Freeport is continuing to grow. Lots of new developments, lots of new builders. Miramar Beach, you're looking right at $1 million. Here is North Navarre Beach, $500,000. North Santa Rosa Beach is $765,000. Now remember, North Santa Rosa Beach, you got homes that are on the bay side, which are selling in the $2-3 millions, and then you also can find some single family and townhomes in the $400,000 range. Again, remember that if you are interested in purchasing or listing your home, be specific to the area, because prices change even from one street to another. It is really difficult to find an average price here because, like for example, on 30A West End, you have a couple of streets where you do not have direct access to the beach. So homes on that street are selling for less than one street over where you have access to the beaches. And if you're looking at statistical data and you're averaging them all out, it screws the data a little bit. So it's really, really important that you look at data locally and specifically to the area where you are considering either listing your home or buying a home. I truly hope that you found this video resourceful and stayed until the end. I know that data can be a little long and maybe I am doing them a little too much, but I love looking at data. As a former math teacher, I kind of think it's really cool, and you really need to go and see any change that is happening in the current market. So over the last 3 weeks, I have seen an increase. Actually, I have a buyers in town showing property, had several closing this week, so it has been a really busy kind of a month in December. Normally, I've seen that more in October, so that was a little different from year to year. And of course, watching the news closely to see what is happening with these interest rates. But I do anticipate January still to be pretty slow, and then February, March, it usually picks up. And the correlation to interest rates will be interesting. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Until the next time, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and have a wonderful Christmas.